Roger, Mudfossil University, following up on the 5G deployment, which I have serious concerns about, as well as do the top scientists in the world. This is from Science Direct, this International Journal of Hygiene and Environmental Health, Volume 221, Issue 3, pages 367 to 594, April 2018. This is the type of things that they do. This is towards 5G communication systems. Are there health implications? Pages 367 to 375. You can purchase the entire PDF. Now, this is from literally a couple of months ago. And these are the kind of things they look into health in the world. High levels of fecal contamination, drinking water in Kinshasa, environmental conditions, health care, middle-income countries, hot weather affect work-related injuries. All right, so let's see. What I'm getting at is this is not some off-the-wall place that's just spewing out fantasies. Now, this is the paper, and this raises the concerns that I have been speaking about, and they are concerned, it looks like. Here it is. 5G communication systems, are there health implications? Well, let's just read it, because there are. It says the highlights: radio frequencies, EMF is electronic, electromotive force, which is frequencies through the air. Exposure, rising health effects are still under investigation. Both oncologic, which is cancer, and non-cancerous chronic effects have been suggested and seen, is what I think. Now, I know I'm sounding biased, but that's because of the research I'm doing, and because of the research they are not doing. 5G networks could have health effects and will use microwave radiation, still scarcely explored. Adequate knowledge of RF frequency biology effects is also needed in clinical practice. Underrating the problem could lead to a further rise in non-communicable diseases. That means things that you get that you don't pass on to other people, but they hurt you. All right, let's just continue on with this. And this is very short. And then I'm going to tell you the science behind this, and to show you what the atmosphere allows in. It does not allow these radiation in. That's why they have to force it, and they put them right next to your bedrooms and all right down the street from you. They cannot be far away from each other because they cannot penetrate the atmosphere. It does not want it penetrated. The spread of radio frequency electromagnetic fields is rising. Health effects are still under investigation. They promote oxidative stress, a condition involved in cancer onset, several acute and chronic diseases as well, and in vascular homeostasis. Although some evidences are still controversial, the Healthcare Organization classified these as possible carcinogenic to humans. More recent studies suggested reproductive, metabolic, neurologic effects, which are also able to alter bacterial antibiotic resistance. I mean, I'm going to try to calm down, but every time I read this, I just get infuriated that they're just forcing this on us and will not allow any discussion about it. It's very, very, very distressing. And it's their kids, our kids. It's your health, our health. This is not something that's, the rich people are going to get away with. They're going to get just as bad as the poor people. This time, they should be taking action because this hurts them. Very rarely does it hurt them. This time hurts everybody. Now, where were we? I'm sorry, I'm going to take it easy. In this evolving scenario, although the biological effects of 5G communication systems are very scarcely investigated, all right, let's try to calm down. An international action plan for the development of 5G networks has already started. They've already got them in. And I'm hearing people saying there's rashes coming all over the country, with a forthcoming increment in devices and density of small cells, and with the future of use of millimeter waves. These are the tiny little waves that shake your water. They're water shakers. That's the problem. Preliminary observations show that these water shakers increase skin temperature. Obviously, they're shaking your skin. They alter gene expression. Oh my God. I'm telling you, promotes cellular proliferation and synthesis of proteins linked with oxidative stress, inflammatory, metabolic process, could generate ocular damage, that's your eyeballs, affect neuromuscular dynamics, which is all the things that make your body work. Further studies are needed to better and independently explore the health effects, obviously, in general, and of this particular microwave radiation. However, available findings seem sufficient to demonstrate the existence of biomedical effects. In other words, they already can see the biomedical effects. To invoke the precautionary principle, it is thrown out the window. But to define exposed subjects as potentially vulnerable and to revise existing limits, and adequate knowledge of pathophysiological mechanisms linking this exposure to health risks should also be useful in the current clinical practice, in particular in consideration of the evidences pointing to intrinsic factors as heavy contributors, cancer risk, and to the progressive epidemiological growth of non-communicable diseases. That's all your body. You are just going to be sick. If you have one of these things near you, you are going to be shaken. There's no question whatsoever. You are going to be, your molecules in your body are going to be ripped. Well, they're not going to be ripped apart. They're just going to be so shaken that they are going to be so stressed, and they are going to become able to, more or less, I believe, adhere and create different molecules which they never would in your skin and in your eyes and in your testes and everything that's very close to the surface. Now, they might not penetrate deep because water stops them, and water is in the air, and the water in the air was designed by God to stop these things. And I'll show you. All right, this is very, very simple to understand. This bar across here is what is allowed into our atmosphere and what is not allowed. Yes, we allow the radio frequencies down here in the very low, lazy range. They don't affect much. Then we get into a range where they're starting to shake water molecules. Then we get into the microwave range, which they are going to put right in the middle and shake us very violently close to the ground here, which it would never get here. It says do not allow those radiations of microwaves to penetrate to the earth. Then we come into the visible spectrum, where we warm ourselves, infrared and the visible. That's okay, we can accept that. That's allowed. Then we go into not allowed again, up into the ultraviolet, X-ray, and gamma rays, and we all know those cause cancers. Now, this particular range, this microwave range, has a characteristic that shakes water. That is what cooks your food. They are going to force this radiation, which is not allowed to penetrate because the water molecules of Earth interact with it and say, stay out of here. I will absorb you to keep the people below from getting bombarded by you. Now, down here, we're going to set up towers every so very, very close, and they are going to force this to penetrate this, which says, no, I don't want you coming through here. When they do that, when you're close to these towers, your body will be irradiated. It's just no question whatsoever. It's going to be irradiated no matter where you are. But if you're very close to one of these towers, you're going to be seriously irradiated. And you are going to have conditions, it's almost absolutely certain. You are literally shaking the molecules in your skin to a condition where they will become extremely irritated to some degree. And there's already been a lot of evidence of this, and now there's claims of rashes appearing that people can't understand. Now, I can't say what's going on with that. I'm not a doctor, but I can see and I can understand chemistry, and I can see and I can understand frequencies, and I can see and I can understand energy, and I have done energy experiments, and I understand the atomic consequences of this, and I don't think the people that are in control do. Now, it sounds to me like they didn't do any testing on this, and the people that are controlling us are working for these people that are strictly a money thing. Listen to what it has to say. That's what it sounds like to me. And find out what it was. Now, I can only assume that the lawmakers do not understand this, but please listen.
Do not review this technology and do not speak on its safety. The American Cancer Society has never done a study on this and receives huge donations from the wireless industry. What they don't tell you is that the FCC guidelines do not cover children. They do not cover pregnant women. They were meant for short-term exposures. And this is incredibly important, and they're leaving out this facts. The organizations that set these standards, the IEE, are all scientists. They are hired and from the wireless organizations. The FCC chairman is now the former main lobbyist and CEO of the Wireless Trade Organization. He is pushing this program for a very clear reason. He wants to push this program because he wants to have free reign in deploying cell tower transmitters all over this country and avoid the zoning process and public input. There was no public input because the design of this program was to prevent public input.
They're popping up outside bedroom windows and school campuses, despite objections from across the country.
5G can be a tremendous boon to California, but only if it can be put up quickly and easily.
Hayward Assemblymember Bill Port co-authored legislation that would make it even harder for cities like Piedmont to object to a tower.
All right, I'm not going to go any further with this. This is what the problem is, and please, legislators, we're reaching out to you to protect us from this, and unless you don't understand the molecular issues here, then we're in deep trouble. I'm going to stop that. You can go out and watch this video. This was from the other day, and it's called Putting Our Legislatures on the Record, and this is how we'll do it. Okay, I think this is our best bet. In Washington, it appears it's self-interest, money, or job security. So what we need to do is to get some statements. And you need to have a form like this sent to all legislatures, every one of them. And we need to have their opinion on this. They are the ones that control this. Now, we need to have some celebrities involved. We need to get this out and available to everyone, from media and everywhere, to say, this particular congressman says, what does he say about this? Does he say, I refuse to see this presentation of this video about 5G, 10 minutes? Does he say, I have seen it and I disagree based on some other evidence he might have, and he wants to put 5G in right away like they're doing? Does he say, I have seen it and I agree to support legislations to stop this deployment immediately so we can look into this? Or does he say, I don't care? Now, then when we find out who said what, then we can determine, the elections that'll be coming up. Very important to do this right away. Somebody has to step up. We need a celebrity. We need somebody that has a presence. I have no presence. And so that's the way it is. Mudfossil University, if you get a hold of me, I can help with some research things, but I can't do much more than that. All right? This is all of us. This is our kids. This is our families. This is our health. This is our skin. This is our eyes. This is your freedom to live free from this. And our legislatures have to stand up for us.